from New York, it's Saturday night!
My name is Lew Delgatto. I play tenor sax, and I was a New York studio musician. Played baritone sax on Saturday Night Live. Played with a lot of acts, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, recorded with a lot of different people, and had a very wonderful career. I'm going to do a tour with Paul Simon, and it was 70s, so it was that great band with Steve Gadd and Stan Bart and Richard T and all those guys. So we did that show, the second show of Saturday Night Live. I found out that the band needed a non-playing contractor. Howard Johnson had put the band together, but he was the contractor, and the union contract specified non-union contractor. So I had wanted to stay in town more, and I talked to the leader, Howard Shore, and he was talking to a bunch of people, and he liked me, and he gave me the gig as contractor. So for the first few years, I didn't play in the band, but Lou Marini and I would play flute duets on the break on a Saturday afternoon. And Howard came in and heard us. He said, "Man, you should play in the band." I said, "Howard, I'd love to play in the band, but the union says no." He said, "Oh, you come on, play." So the following year, I played. I sat in the back with a hat behind the music stand, and I played like soprano sax, flute, and piccolo. Then I played alto sax on the 4th and 5th years of that show. They cut the band down. Then I was out of that job for like 6 years. Then they came back in 1985, and I got a call from Howard Shore to play baritone sax, and they said, "Yeah, I'll contract and let me write arrangements." He said, "Fine." So that's the way it went for the next 20 years till I left. And the show was exciting and fun and great because it was live, and anything could happen, and sometimes things did. The rehearsal went fine. We had to book a big orchestra. I think it was a big orchestra for her, if I'm remembering correctly. And she sang her song with the orchestra. Then I think the second song might have been a smaller band. And dress rehearsal went off fine. But when we got to air, she had a picture of the Pope that she ripped up because she was protesting something about the Catholic Church, which I don't even quite remember. But that happened. Then there was another incident. One of the young singers that where half the music is on the computer. It's all programmed on the computer, and they play to that track. Live players play to the track, and the drummer hit the wrong song. So the first song came up again, and they stopped, and that was a whole big deal. Everybody tried to blame everybody else. He had a problem. Some intern messed up his flight, so he didn't get there for the dress rehearsal. He got there for the air show. His performance lifted, you could feel the whole thing. You know when that happens? When it lifts right up, the whole thing is like you feel it. You get tingles and up your spine. It was just truly amazing that happened. They did this King Tut sketch with Steve Martin, and the band was actually in the sketch. And Lou Marini comes out of a coffin, like playing the saxophone solo, when we're all there playing and supposedly dancing around in the back, and so you got a shot of my belly in the back. It's very funny. In the early days, 75 to 80, we played with more acts. They'd come on and we'd have a rehearsal on Thursday, and then we'd play with them on the air on Saturday. People would come on, and they'd use the house band. I'd add musicians, and we'd play. I mean, that's what we did for Aretha. Ray Charles was there, he brought some of his guys. The house band joined in. Harry Connick Jr., same thing. And Quincy Jones was there, used the house band and added guys. So, it was different, but that became less and less. So if we had a guest artist, we would rehearse and block on Thursday. Then we don't come back till Saturday. And Saturday, we're there at 11 in the morning, 11 till 1, to rehearse whatever music is pertinent to the show. If there's any sketch music we had to play for, we'd rehearse that at like 1 to 2 o'clock. And then we'd leave. We'd have a long break. and they'd feed us dinner around 5 or 6, 7 o'clock. We'd come back and we'd do a run-through rehearsal, 7:30 till about 10, on the air 11:30. And Lorne Michaels used to say, he still says, we don't go on the air when we're ready, we go on at 11:30. That's why people say, oh, that sketch wasn't finished, that sketch wasn't funny. It's live TV. You go when they push the button, they got to be there with something. So that's the way it was. And it was an exhausting day because we were there at 11 in the morning. We finished 1 in the morning. And then you go to the party and you're up half the night. My parents were sick and they said, if we move there, we can help out and you can commute. I said, really? It was a surprise, And in fact, it worked out because a friend of mine, his wife had rented a brownstone, so I rented a room there. I could leave my horns. I didn't have to worry about stuff getting ripped off and carrying stuff back and forth on the plane. And I just went up for 2-3 weeks at a time whenever I needed to and did the show. We moved to Florida because I had left SNL and I wanted to retire to where it was warm. Kate's sister lived in Naples, Snowbird, so that was part of it. And we liked the culture actually because the Naples Philharmonic was there and we knew there was an orchestra and it was a little nicer area to us. So, and I thought, well, maybe I'll get a gig playing in a restaurant or or something like that. And after a while, things opened up. I met, in fact, it was through Randy Brecker, I met Luciano Modello. I ran into Randy in New York and he said, where do you live in Florida? I said, in Naples. I said, oh, there's a guy there, Luciano Modello, who loves jazz because he knew Randy's wife, Ada. Luciano brought Randy and Ada down to do a concert. So Randy invited me to come and play a tune. So when I got there, I met Glenn Basham and we went out and played a tune. And after that, he had this idea to have a house band that brought guest artists in because he realized that they were bringing whole bands in and they had to put the band up and feed the band and they had to do all this stuff. And he thought it would be a better deal for them. We started in and it's turned out to be a very incredibly well-liked series. And we've had, great horn players and singers throughout the whole deal. It's a fun gig. A lot of people know about it now, so I mean, it's not like we're trying to begging people to come, Let's hope it continues for a while. I feel very fortunate. I've had a great career. I did work for it because I studied, but my original thing was to become a studio musician, which I did, and played all the doubles and all that good stuff. And all that jazz thing that we've done for 14 years has opened the opportunity to play with some of the greatest jazz artists in the world, which is absolutely fantastic for me. I love every second of it. So, lucky guy.